Hi, I'm Emily from Bob's Coins and Jewelry. Today I wanted to showcase a very simple repair that we do almost every single day. I will be sizing this customer's wedding set up from a 7.5 to an 8.5. I'm gonna test this customer's stone and make sure that it's a diamond before I work on it so that I know if it can tolerate heat. I'm heating the bottom of the ring right now to see if I can find any previous sizing marks. I don't believe this ring has ever been sized. Because this has never been sized before, I can choose wherever I'd like to cut on the bottom of this ring. I typically go dead center. Squeezing it up to an 8.5. I'm going to measure the gap now to make sure that it still matches that one size. Yep, it's just one size. So now I'm gonna mark my sizing stock and take this piece out and put it into the customer's ring. There we go. So now is when I like to utilize the laser so that I can tack this piece exactly where it needs to sit, and I'm not worrying about it wobbling back and forth as I'm trying to torch solder it. I'm just gonna tack this into place. I don't want to weld the entire thing because I want the solder to be able to flow through the cracks rather than just welding the outer surface of the piece in. I'm reapplying the boric acid to protect the metal, heating off the alcohol, and now I'm applying flux in the crack. This helps ensure that the metal flows pretty much exactly where I want it to. So I'm dropping it right on the seam and then I'm pulling it through the bottom. I'm gonna do that on both sides and heat that up. I'm grabbing some hard solder and applying it right onto those cracks. I'm placing it on top, and then I'm heating the bottom of the ring to pull the metal towards the heat and through the crack. And then I'm doing the same on the other side. There we go. Now I'm gonna look at the ring and see if there are any other spots that need additional metal. There's a little dip in the ring right here, so I'm going to apply a couple more pieces of solder and bulk that up a little bit. Now that that piece is in place, I'm gonna put it on the mandrel and make sure that it's round and still sitting at the size that I want it to. I'm filing away any excess, again, to get it to blend it together. I'm checking all of the angles of this ring, making sure that the new piece blends in. Instead of just going straight and making it like a flat piece, I want to make sure that it matches the curvature on all sides. All right. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do the sanding, which puts a finer finish on it before we polish. This ring is done and ready for polishing. Now I can move on to her wedding band. This wedding band is 18 karat, so unfortunately the heaviest piece of sizing stock I have to match is very wide. I will still be using this. It's just gonna take a little bit more filing. If this ring had not been cut and sized before, I could heat it and stretch it up to one size, but for one, having an engraving that I don't want to interrupt, and also having been cut, I have no choice but to cut it and add this thick piece in. Okay, just like our previous ring, the engagement ring, I'm going to heat this so I can reveal the seams and see exactly where I can safely cut. You can see that there's a little line about right here. And that shows me exactly where their previous jeweler has cut it to size it. Okay, now we can cut. 9 3/4, 8 1/4. Flip it around, do the same thing. Go down to a 10. Now it's resting at an 8.5 on that side and this side. Perfect. Again, I'm confirming that it's just one size up that's necessary, and it is. So I'm taking our giant piece of 18 karat now and scoring it with my one size. These big pieces, these big short pieces are always a little bit harder to cut and hold. I know this piece looks funny in here right now. This ring is very narrow. I could have gone for a narrower piece, but what's more important is that the depth matters. This is a pretty heavy, narrow band, and this is my heaviest gauge piece, the closest to matching that I had. So I'm going to trim off these sides here, and then that depth will blend in seamlessly. I'm gonna take this into the laser now so I can tack it into place. That way I don't have to worry about it wiggling around as I'm trying to solder it. Solder flows like water, and so if this entire outer area were sealed, it would not be able to penetrate through that weld and into the metal. I'm putting boric acid all over the metal to protect it from fire scale. Heating off the alcohol. I'm applying that flux to make sure the solder flows through the crack the way I want it to. One side and the other. Grabbing only from our 18 karat, placing it on top and pulling it through the bottom. And it looks perfect. It's sitting nicely at an 8.5, so I don't need to do too much hammering. It's perfectly round. And then we can get to filing that big bulk off of the middle section. This is gridded only in one direction, so I'm not going to waste my time back sawing. I'm only going to file in the one direction where I know it's cutting metal off. Because that piece was so big, I want to make sure that it's still flat. The side of the ring is still flat. So I'm going to place it down on my bench pin here. It kind of acts as an anvil conveniently. So I'm gonna hold the back side of it down and just give it a couple good taps. Especially because this is gonna lay against an engagement ring, I wanna make sure that it has no curvature in it, because it will be noticeable when you have one flat item next to a curved item. And that seems to be perfect. Now I can take that last bulky piece off of the top and then file the inside smooth. Just like that. I think that piece matches very nicely. I'm going to move on to sanding now to even out the finish before we polish it. I'm going very gentle around this engraving on the inside. We cut pretty close to it, so I still want to make sure all of my tool marks are removed, but not remove any of that metal on the engraving. Perfect. This is ready for polishing. Moving on to the band. These are going to clean for a few minutes to get all of that rouge off from polishing, and then we will steam it and send it out. These are now sitting at an 8.5 to fit our customer's fingers. You can see that they're pretty much refurbished now. They look brand new, so I think she's going to be really excited when she sees these. They're sitting very evenly together, and they both sit very comfortably at an 8.5. If you have any repair needs, sizing, or anything more complicated, just stop into our showroom or give us a call at Bob's Coins and Jewelry.